If you're like me and you do not enjoy pressing a bunch of buttons, you have definitely come to the right place, because that's what this build is all about. Hello and welcome to the 0 button Oracle Druid build. Now this build has turned out pretty good, so I decided to make a video on it. And in the showcase you saw that we deal really good boss damage and our clearing speed is pretty solid if you consider that it is a 0 button build. So overall I'm pretty happy with the results. So how does the build actually work? We're using the Blasphemy buff, which applies an aura that turns Socket the Curse skills into vile auras, applying these effects to all nearby enemies. And we're combining it with Repulsion that targets an area and curses enemies, inflicting them with Fragility. Now hitting these enemies causes the curse to trigger an explosion to deal damage in an area. This will be triggered with our Wind Dancer. Then we use Living Lightning, which is a supported skill that triggers Living Lightning minions when other supported skills deal damage. So this will be triggered because Repulsion will deal damage due to Wind Dancer. This will be a fully automated process that will look like this. And now I will quickly hover over all of the support gems. For bossing, start off with your Forge Hammer, then use your Infernal Cry, place your totems and use your Refusion. For the Ascendancy we get the Oracle and we get inevitable critical hits, which rerolls your non-critical hits to critical hits, so we will always crit. But for every reroll you lose 30% critical damage bonus. Unarmed Heartwood gives 1 additional totem and makes totems immortal for 6 seconds after their life is reduced to 0. This is really good so bosses can't kill your totems. And we get the Unseen Path, which reveals more passive nodes on the skill tree. For the skill tree I will only cover the most important nodes, so here is a quick overview before we go into detail. The first important node is Powerful Casting, which gives 2% increased spell damage per 10 strength. This is good since we are stacking strength and using the Crown of the Ice that converts spell damage to attack damage. We also use Bruise Strength that gives us even more damage when we stack strength. And since we have 51 rage, we take this Inferno node so we get 1% increased fire damage per rage stack. And for the gear we use Crown of the Ice due to Powerful Casting, Titan Rot that gives increased strength, and we use the Brutus in both hands. And for the amulet you can go Astromantis or Divine Stuff Destiny. Regular amulets works also. You need added lightning damage on one of your gear pieces for Living Lightning to activate. This is really important, otherwise the build does not function. For the life flask you want to use the Blood of the Warrior flask that grants perma rage and rage buildup plus recoup. It's important that you use this flask only if you're tanky enough. A regular life flask works extremely well for this build too. For the mana flask we use the Lavigna flask that automatically regens mana for you, so you can press even less buttons.